Oh, hello there, gentle viewer. Let me welcome you in my little reading corner where I'm catching up on a contemporary story, and I get to share this story with you today. Gentle viewer, please be sure that there are no children in earshot, as this story is graphic and quite inappropriate for children's ears. A cautionary tale. There once was a girl, a princess really, though she yet did not know it, who tried to find her path in life and fell into the hands of a bad wolf disguised in shepherd's clothing. He was no Robin Hood, though he was a thief. He was a brilliant man, versed in the mysterious art of trickery, convincing with his audacious confidence old and young alike to freely give of their possessions to him so that he could live large, eat fine foods, and especially fine drinks, travel the world, live in a big house, build his wife a stable, and also buy for himself a vacation home that a few select of his followers on good days were allowed to clean. How can such a man, a con man really, get away with such unmasked acts of self-indulgence, you may wonder, gentle viewer? What a good question. First of all, he convinced himself that he indeed was God's chosen one, the anointed, burdened and blessed to bring about the kingdom of God in Germany, in Europe, in Israel, everywhere, really. Subsequently, he convinced people in need of a vision, people who wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves, also of this man's grand stand with God. A blessed quest, without a doubt, but burdened, you may ask, gentle viewer? How can such a noble quest become a burden to a humble servant of the Most High? As our girl would find out in every imaginable hard way, being the Lord's anointed had a dark side. Apparently, the Lord's anointed would find himself constantly tempted and attacked by no one else but Satan himself. Satan would try to distract him from his divine call by using people, namely women, and on top of that, nasty, lustful thoughts that would come over him always at every inopportune time, especially when out in clubs and bars at night, trying to share the gospel of Christ with a straight face while intoxicated beyond recognition. Our girl was honored with the task to pick him up from such mission trips. She was dishonorably released from this charge when he eventually, after making inappropriate advances for a long time, kissed her and touched her inappropriately and later blamed her for it. Speaking of blame, gentle viewer, to your surprise, it turned out that the magical shield that was protecting this man's conscience from ever raising the appropriate alarm to all these obvious evil was his ability to never, ever take responsibility for any of his bad thoughts or bad actions. It was always either Satan's fault or someone else's. But in this man's mind, it wasn't only he who constantly had lustful thoughts. He tried to convince his trusted henchmen in front of other men that he, just like all other men, secretly wanted to rape women. But coming back to blaming others, eventually he realized that it was our girl who was really to blame for everything. When he had convinced himself that all women only want to sleep with him, he had his equally trapped henchman talk to our girl and ask her if she masturbated while praying for the God's anointed, since there could not be any other explanation for his king's overwhelming lustful thoughts. Outraged, our girl required clarification from the Lord's servant himself, who convinced her that it was indeed her fault that anything bad ever happens at all in his life, be it not being able to focus while trying to con other people, or a jellyfish burning his leg while traveling to the sea, or engaging in extramarital affairs. And most importantly, gentle viewer, our girl was to blame for holding up the revival that the Lord had promised to come about at the hands of this man. The day our girl believed for the very first time that she did indeed have worth and that God loved her, that she was a princess, she was thrown out from the group faster than you can spell spiritual and sexual predator. While she now discovers freedom and the beauty of living, the followers of this man are sure that the revival that the Lord had promised must be coming any day now, because this evil girl is gone. But this man's story shall serve forever and ever as a cautionary tale of what can happen to you when you don't take responsibility for your own stuff and always blame other people or other people groups. The end.